Off and away from planet Earth we go for playoff match number 2. And actually, on that note, the Future Martian's the only one not moving away from the subwoofer over on the Red Alliance side of the field, and otherwise, a relatively standardized autonomous period over there on the Red Alliance, although a non-standard score of 39, just scooping up a few extra notes in their speaker to get things rolling here in our 4 versus 5 match. That'll send one along in the upper bracket and one down to the lower. Mean Machine, Blue Alliance, lines up with the amplified blue speaker, but it feeds back. Now 2 more notes pile in. That was Mean Machine's rebound. And the Dragons, who are already saying sayonara to all the defensive struggle that just happened in front of the Red Alliance source, and they go right over to the Blue Alliance source, evading all of that. They'll join their alliance partners, the Nerd Herd out of Yaml County, Oregon. Yaml's team down to the south side of the field there, and they get wide open room to launch off the 2-point note score into their speaker. That's followed up pretty quickly by a 5-pointer from Mean Machine in the amplified speaker, but a flurry of notes bouncing off of those Lexan panels on the front of the driver's station. Despite all of that, and despite about a 70% accuracy so far, they lead by, it was 6 points, and now just 2. Red Alliance throws it in high gear and amplifies their speaker to try and eat away at that point deficit. Not only did they do so, but they also pick up for a while an 8-point lead, now chipped away by Blue. The amplification lights on top of those 2 speakers, flickering like Christmas trees between these 2 alliances. Sonic Squirrels now at the amp for Red, looking to set up another amplification bonus. They'll be joined by Future Martians. Martians skip the amp. They go for the 2-pointer in the speaker. Squirrels dedicated to stashing acorns in that amp. Waiting for the amplification bonus on Red. Martians trigger it, 5-pointer, and then no other Red robots anywhere near there. That's a 10-second amplification cycle. Finally, one more note drops. Future Martians putting in the work in that spacesuit. 20 seconds left. Blue Alliance running away with it. 20-point lead. High notes coming in from the human players to start pre-spotlighting potential robot climbs. 1, 2, 3 of them go astray for Blue. In they come for Red now. 2 of them on the ground. Will the 3rd one land? Horseshoes, good for Red. Now can we get a robot under it? Challenge accepted by Pack of Parts, but not sure if they're airborne before the end of the match. We'll get a final score to you just as soon as we can here for playoffs match number 2. Scores are in for a playoffs match number 2 here in Portland. Staying in that upper bracket, it's going to be the Blue Alliance. 125 points for Alliance 5, 93 points for Alliance 4. So we'll see that Blue Alliance again in match 7, where they play Alliance 8, who just won that last match we saw. And in match 5, taking on Alliance 1, that'll be Alliance 4 continuing along in that lower bracket. My good friend Brett That was another exciting one to get us going here for playoffs. I don't actually think there's going to be a boring match, let's be real. But tell me what you saw.
Josh, yeah, I agree. There aren't going to be any boring matches here today in the playoffs. You know, the proliferation of swerve drive, and especially the easy access to swerve drive, has really changed the way a lot of aspects of First Robotics work. And for this match, I want to look at the way defense works and the way driving works in a match. We're going to go to our match highlight here, and we're going to take a look at the top of the field. That right there, that's Team 1294 pack of parts for the Red Alliance. This right here is Team 1595 Dragons for the Blue Alliance. And as we roll this forward, these two were doing a battle all match long. Look at the way they're spinning back and forth. That time, 1595 sneaks to the inside to get around. They're going to drop their note, come back, do it again. Here's 1294. They go right at them. 1595 gets past, spinning back and forth. This almost reminds me of watching a running back and a linebacker if you watch football, where you're not just going to power through anymore. And with that twist, that spin that the swerve drive enables, now you're looking for different ways to get around. Are we going to go to the left? Are we going to go to the right? Are we going to switch back and forth? It's just changing the way we drive, and props to the drivers on both those teams for giving us that show and how they work it out. They've really stepped up over the last few years how these teams control their swerve machines, and it's really cool to watch that happen so differently than it did even just like 5 years ago.
Lots of drive practice required for that, and I'm sure these teams for playoffs match 3 have been practicing their hearts out too. We'll send it back down to the field with Natalie and Emerald in just a few moments.